And we'll do it live. We'll do it live. So here's the thing. This is a call to action. We need to fight back against these so-called Ukrainians that are trying to overthrow our government and getting all involved in our government, man. This is bullshit. So I want people to send this message to Donald J. Trump, the president of the United States, and let him know that the so-called Ukrainians are the ones that were behind the cabal. The cabal, the Zelensky cabal, were the ones behind the assassination attempts on Trump. That's who was behind it. It was Zelensky and the international cabal associated with the Ukraine thing. That's who tried to kill President Trump. And we as Americans need to stand up and do something about these people. And so the question on this video is, will Donald Trump have Zelensky assassinated? I'm going to turn my volume down in case it's too crackly on my video here, because sometimes I am too loud and it gets crackly. The question is, will Donald Trump try to assassinate Zelensky? And I believe he won't try to assassinate him. But I like thinking about it. I like thinking about Donald Trump having Zelensky assassinated. I think that that's an interesting topic. Will he? I don't think so. I don't think he will. But it's fun to talk. It's fun to think about Vladimir Zelensky being assassinated by Donald Trump. That's just interesting. I just think that's interesting. So I thought it'd make a good video. And the fact of the matter is, as Americans, we should all be really fucking pissed off about what these Ukrainians are doing in our government. Okay. Why are they messing around with our government? Okay. So in my opinion, what Donald Trump needs to do, because remember when he got shot out on the golf course, the guy that shot at him was part of the Ukrainian shit. He was some weirdo that was hired by the Ukrainian group. We're just called the Ukrainian group to kill our president, right? It was that weirdo, that weird guy that tried to shoot him on the golf course, and the Secret Service shot at him like 15 times and missed or whatever every shot. The security guard, the security SS is just shooting in all directions as the guy's running off. Yeah, so there's something really bad about, and so that's the power that this quote Ukrainian group has inside of our government, inside being able to manipulate people, such as people in the Secret Service. So the people in the Secret Service that are loyal to this country need to be aware of what's going on. And what's going on is this Ukrainian group. Who's the Ukrainian group? It's Zelensky, it's Noodleman, Kagan, Noodleman. What's her first name? I can't remember her first name. Victoria Noodleman, Zelensky, whole bunch of them. Klitschko, the boxer, he's part of their cult actually too. And so these people, whoever they are, they have nothing to do with America, and that we need to actually get them out of our country. Remember this whole thing with that Vindman guy, right? Vindman, Ukraine, they're all embedded in the government. They're all trying to weasel their way into the government, right? And so Donald Trump, now I've made some videos being critical of Trump and Elon Musk recently, because Elon Musk took me off Twitter, even though I didn't violate any of the rules. I was critical of his H-1B visa program, bringing Indians over here to take American jobs. So I was critical of that. I got purged, and then the Grapers got purged, and the Australian nationalist guys got purged, and a bunch of people got purged starting on December 25th. But even though he did that to me, I still think he's doing a good job with this whole Doge thing and going around through the government and trying to get things cleaned up. I like that they're doing that. I just wish he wouldn't have taken me off the internet, off of Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. But here's the point. J.D. Vance gave a decent speech at Munich. I would have given a much more hardcore speech. Like I would have just said, look, anyone cutting off the communication or cutting the communication lines of European people, Germans, English people, whoever, we are going to come after you. We are going to arrest you. because you are our enemy. If you're cutting our communications, you're our enemy. That's why Elon Musk, I'm very mad at him for cutting my communications. Because when you cut the communication lines of Americans, you're the enemy. That's what you do in a war. Now, I'm going to give Elon a little slack because I like what he's doing in the government, but that doesn't mean that he shouldn't be held accountable for cutting my communication lines and what he's done to the Groypers and what he's done to the Australian nationalists. Whatever. They're still doing good stuff. But see, Trump is doing great right now, actually. I really like what Trump is doing with the Ukraine war, because the Ukraine war has taken us to the brink of nuclear holocaust, okay? And you have to understand that the war between Ukraine and Russia, backed by the CIA and the United States and the Pentagon and the State Department, was bringing the world towards a nuclear war. And it was all about Ukraine. It was all about this particular group that Zelensky is a part of, and it's based on his race and his religion. It's actually a religious thing. It's based on his religion and his ethnicity. And it's been like this since the 1800s. And if you go back and you look at the policy that the U.S. adopted after the Civil War, when German communists were brought over to the north and used as an army to attack the South, right? That's called the Civil War in America, where it was an international army of communists, of Karl Marx failed revolutionaries in Germany that came to America and fought the South and defeated the South. Since that time, when Ulysses S. Grant, when he first said that he was going to ban Jewish businesses from operating in the States, in the colonies, and then had this change of mind and then became president, and then helped to implement a policy, I believe, because it was occurring during his presidency, about a combative stance towards Russia, or a policy towards Russia that was antagonistic. So the policy of antagonism with Russia or towards Russia began after the Civil War. Oddly enough, Russia wasn't opposed to the North in the Civil War, but once the North won, they had a policy towards Russia of antagonism. Why? Well, if you go back and you read the reports from the time, it says it was because of the Tsar, the Russian king, treatment of Jews, right? So now you have the United States getting all antagonistic towards Russia because of its treatment of Jews. This is what the policies were saying that are written and recorded in the news and at the time by the U.S. government. By the U.S. government was making these proclamations. It's not me making this up. It's the U.S. government making it up. So the U.S. government began a policy of antagonism towards Russia after the Civil War in the 1800s. And they said it was because of the Russian government, the monarchy, because of the Russian government's treatment of Jews. So this is what started America's combative stance towards Russia. Now, Russia had already fought many wars with other European countries over Crimea, particularly the British. So the British, and that's a whole nother story. We're not getting into that. But this is where it starts in America. This is what started the whole thing between the U.S. and Russia. There is no reason for Americans to be at war with Russia. Zero. The only reason we got on this thing where Russians are bad started because of Russia's treatment of Jews, not Americans, but Jews living in Russia. This was the excuse given because the wealthy bankers who had been given access to European and American markets because of the role of Napoleon. After Napoleon liberated the Jews and gave them access to European markets, the wealthy Jewish businessmen who had run a sugar monopoly around the world with the Jesuits, they then had access to Western Europe, which they didn't have before. So now they were taking over the governments in Europe and implementing new laws and implementing new policies, particularly about the Jews specifically, right? They were getting in control of the government and changing the policies that all the governments in Europe had towards Jews. So they completely took over the government, and they started to bring about all these hate speech laws and hate crimes laws and anti-Semitism laws, which is a misnomer because Shem is the sun, and that means the light or the intellect or the knowledge or wisdom or truth, which is called the logos in Greek, which is symbolized in the four Gospels as Jesus Christ. That would be the light, the Shem, the logos. So calling someone an anti-Semite, actually, that means you think that the rabbis are the light, not Jesus Christ, just so you know. But so they came up with these policies of anti-Semitism, hate speech laws, just speech laws, can't say what you think laws, all the garbage that we have now ruling over Germany. What's ruled over Europe and destroyed the European people since the end of World War II, this group has just, they clamped down. They've terrorized the populations of Europe. They've terrorized the populations of Germany. They've terrorized the populations of France and Belgium and Holland and the Netherlands and Sweden and England and Ireland and all of the British, like all the British Isles. It's this group. These are the people that have been doing it the whole time. And this is the Zelensky group. They just try to start a war. And Zelensky goes to the Munich conference and he brags. He brags about all the Russians that he's killed. Imagine that. Imagine standing before an audience and bragging about all the people that you killed. What kind of person would do that? Well, what kind of person is Zelensky? Zelensky is a Ukrainian Jew. That's what he is. He's a Ukrainian Jew. Zelensky's a Ukrainian Jew. That's what Zelensky is. And he's at the Munich conference and he's bragging and bragging and bragging about all the Russians that he's killed. And I don't know how people get away with this. This is crazy. It's crazy. So this is the world that we live in. So these are the people that took over, tried to kill Donald Trump, even though Donald Trump likes Jews, even though Donald Trump family is part, you know, he's got Jewish people in his family. Or maybe all of his kids are Jewish. Maybe because I think his first wife was Jewish. I don't know. But he likes Jews. Doesn't mean they're not going to kill him though, right? Because they don't care if you like them or not. You have to submit to them or they will kill you. That's the Jewish mafia. The Jewish mafia says submit or die, right? Submit to them or they'll kill you, right? That's how they work. And that's what they tried to do to President Trump. That's what they tried to do to President Trump. And that's what they've been doing to all the Europeans and all the Americans since the end of the World War II, particularly. But before that, I mean, that's why the ADL pushes gay porno books on their website that are designed for infants and toddlers, okay? Just go to their website and look for yourself. The Anti-Defamation League, ADL.org, sells books on their websites, gay porno books for toddlers about being molested by two men. That's the Anti-Defamation League. That's the group that runs the whole Zelensky thing. It's the exact same mafia. It's ADL, which is B'nai B'rith, which is the cult that's the Jewish mafia that runs Zelensky and that tried to kill the president and that runs the media. So when you watch the media and you're watching, I don't know, whoever it is, CNN, MSNBC, whatever, and they keep saying that Trump is a liar and Zelensky's the good guy, and Trump doesn't know what he's talking about, and Zelensky's the hero. See, that means that the media that's run by the CIA and all this stuff in Washington, D.C., they're working with Zelensky against the United States government, against the president of the United States. This is what I'm saying. Donald J. Trump, can you hear what I'm saying? Maybe you've already turned this video off, but you should be listening. Whoever is listening, you need to listen to this. That's what's going on. It's B'nai B'rith. It's the Jewish mafia. And Zelensky is Jewish mafia. And Klitschko is Jewish mafia. And the Anti-Defamation League is Jewish mafia. And your buddy, what's his name? Who's the guy that runs the World Jewish Congress? What's his name? Ron Lauder, Jewish mafia. It's all Jewish mafia. And the Maxwell thing is Jewish mafia. And the, Ron Lauder, that whole gang, the Rothschild, Lynn Rothschild is married to, whatever. Like that's that's the lady Rothschild that she's married. I know Trump knows her because I'm sure I bet Trump talks to her every day. Like these are the people that want to blow up these. See, this is what I'm getting to. See, all this war with Ukraine started because it started with a policy towards Russia in the 1800s that said the U.S. is going to have an antagonistic stance against Russia over Jews. So what happened was wealthy, powerful Jewish mafia groups that got control of the political groups in America and Europe decided to set the U.S. against Russia in war to split up U.S. and Russia. And so that's the people that have a problem with Russia, not us, no one else. It's just them. And so what they did is they tried to, so then they overthrew Russia. And what they did is they backed not Zelensky, but another Ukrainian Jew named Bronstein. And he went by the name Trotsky, okay? But his real name was Bronstein. And he was a Ukrainian Jew, just like Zelensky. And he had all kinds of ties to New York and Washington, D.C., just like Zelensky. And his job was to raise an army, a communist red army, to attack Russia, which they successfully did and overthrew the Tsar and killed their whole family. And then they celebrate that. They celebrate murdering people and killing people. And then after they killed them, they started killing off the priests and they started killing the population. They just went on a big killing spree. And it was all run by Jews, mafia, just like Zelensky, but his name was Bronstein. See, it's the same thing they're trying to do again. They've tried to do this whole same thing over and over again. So the danger of this is that this is going to cause a nuclear war, right? This is going to cause a nuclear war if they're not stopped. Luckily, it's being stopped by Donald Trump, who likes Jews. He doesn't even hate Jews, but the Jews have an agenda which he's not going along with, and so he's putting himself at a lot of risk to save the world from being exterminated in a nuclear holocaust by the Jewish mafia, by Zelensky and who was the other guy that was just in there? Who's the other Ukrainian Jewish guy? What was his name? He was the Secretary of State. Anthony Blinken. And then you had Kagan, Noodleman. And it's always a Jewish person who's from Ukraine, and they run everything in America, and the Vindman, and Vindman was testifying against Trump, right? It's this Jewish mafia. And their Ukraine is like this is where this all started. It all started in Ukraine. This whole thing started in Ukraine. This whole idea that America had to start a war with Russia in the 1800s started over Jews from Ukraine. Okay? That's how long this has been going on. It didn't start when Russia invaded Ukraine. It started in the 1800s when the U.S. adopted a policy that said that it was going to have an antagonistic view towards the Tsar of Russia, the King of Russia, due to no other reason, not because it's in America's interest, but due to the Russian Tsar's treatment of Jews in Russia. And so America had to start this antagonistic stance. So that's how long this group has been trying to drive the U.S. Now, remember when I made that video about that crazy guy that tried to kill Trump? And I said that America would never win another war because the only reason we were able to win World War I and World War II was because we had a large, young, healthy white population. Lots of white, healthy, young white men all across America and Europe, fighting age, white. That's all gone. Now, why is it all gone? Because since the end of World War II, this group of Jewish mafia that won World War I and won World War II and has had free reign to do whatever they want since the end of World War II in Europe, against the people in Europe and against the people in America, have totally destroyed Western white European civilization. So all the Germanic and French and European and Nordic and all the white American Anglo-Saxon, that's all been destroyed, right, by this people who won World War II. And so here's what happened. This is the funniest part, because none of this is really funny. But the funniest part is then they tried to start another war with Russia, and then they're lost over Ukraine. This thing we're in now, right? They try to start a war with her, and then they're all, come on, guys, we're going to send troops, we're going to send Americans, we're going to send Europeans. And they're like, all the remaining white people are like, we're not going to fight a war for you. You're crazy. And then they looked around and they realized there was nobody there. There was nobody there to fight the war for them. And they realized that everything is sinking. It's exactly what I told you. Everything is sinking. They do not have people to fight a war against Russia. Russians handled these people a long time ago. With the rise of Putin, see, there's piece of this puzzle you're missing. So after Ulysses S. Grant, okay, that was so that was 1800s. So then in the 1900s, they had this group called the American Friends of a Free Russia. No, Jewish Friends of Free Russia or American Friends of Free Russia. One of those two. But it was a Jewish group called the American Friends of Free Russia. But it was Jewish. It was sponsored by a banker named Schiff. Okay, Schiff and his group, which was Schiff, Warburg, Rothschild, Rockefeller. Who I don't know if Rockefeller is Jewish, but he was part of their group, right? So Schiff, Rockefeller, Rothschild, the Warburgs, which are a German, Jewish German banking houses, Warburg. So they were the ones that were sponsoring the overthrow of the Tsar to bring in communism. So it was called a Jewish revolution, but it was really a communist revolt. But then so the Jewish revolt was a communist revolt. And then they put Jews in charge of all the government, just like in Ukraine. Like they overthrew the government in Ukraine, they put Jews in charge of the government. Then they got stupid people who were neo-Nazis in Ukraine that were stupid enough to fight for this. And so this is the other part of this puzzle. What it looks like they tried to do, because the Anti-Defamation League and all this Jewish mafia, they were totally okay with recruiting Nazis in Ukraine, right? And then they were trying to recruit Nazis here in America under Biden to go fight in Ukraine. So it looks like they were trying to get all the Nazis in Europe and from America to go to Ukraine and get killed by the Russians. And this is all being organized by the US government in concert with the European Union and London, because they're all run by this cult. It's run by a satanic cult Jewish mafia called B'nai B'rith. So that failed because here's another part of the backstory. Back before Trump got elected, me and a lot of other people were already onto this whole thing and seeing them try to recruit the white nationalist guys, the neo-Nazi guys, to go join the fight against Russia. And while they were getting some of these Ukrainian dummies to do it, everyone else was like, whoa, no, we're not doing that. We're not going to go, because it's like, no, it's all run by Jews. For some reason, the Ukrainian Nazis don't realize that everyone running their government was Jewish. So they were so stupid or whatever, they just went over there and they all got killed. So I think once they ran out of a small group of people, they realized everybody else was onto them. And then it's the whole thing of like, now we have to shut down the internet, and we got to shut down Facebook, and we got to shut down Twitter. We got to get everybody off the internet because they're telling everybody what we're doing. But hey, man, cat's out of the bag. Now you've lost everything. But so here's the important point that I was getting to. As a national security threat, because I actually do care about America's national security, even though I criticize it a lot, because I'm an American. I was born an American. I've always been an American. I've never been anything else but an American. And I'm telling you that the U.S. can't win another war because it doesn't have anyone to fight the war for them. When I leave my house and I drive just down the street like I did today, and the high school is getting out, right? And the kids are getting out of high school. There's not one white kid in the high school near me. Not one that I see. They're all Latin American. You think they're going to fight a war in Europe against Russia? They're not. There's nobody to fight for these people anymore. And they did this to themselves because that was the whole thing. Remember when Marco Rubio recently, who I don't particularly like, but I thought he was right when he said, he was on the show on CNN and they said, or whatever show it was on, and they said, whatever show, really, they're all the same. They said, hey, the whole thing about the Holocaust was about free speech and using free speech to cause a genocide. And he's like, no, it was about something else, right? This is what you have to understand. The reason why this satanic cult that runs America and Europe wants to shut everybody down and shut down your free speech is because that's what they're saying, because of the Holocaust. See, you're not allowed to talk because of the Holocaust. That's what they're saying. That's what they've been saying the whole time. And that's what Marco Rubio and all these other Republicans have been missing. But it's what we've been saying the whole time. It's what we've been saying the whole time. the Holocaust, when they have Holocaust Remembrance Day or put up Holocaust museums, it's not so that you won't have another. It's not so that we won't have totalitarianism. It's not so that we won't have authoritarianism. It's not so that there won't be more genocides. It's so that you will shut your mouth. It's so that they can kill you if they want to. It gives them a license to kill. See, the Holocaust museums around the world give them a license to kill you. See, that's what I was talking about in the whole Gaza thing. I don't like Islam. I'm not a fan of Islam. I don't want to kill them though. I don't kill people just because of their religion. You see, that's not a reason to kill somebody. Because I believe in the Logos, the light, also called Jesus Christ. See, I believe in that. That's the Alpha Omega, the zenith, the ultimate thing is the Logos, which is reason, truth. You see, so I don't kill people because of their religion. Jewish mafia does. The Jewish mafia will kill you for whatever they reason they want. They'll kill anybody. They'll try and kill the president of the United States, Donald Trump. They'll kill 1 million people in Gaza. They'll kill 1 million Russians. They'll kill millions of Germans. They'll kill everybody and anybody they want. They don't care. There's nothing stopping them from genocide, ethnic cleansing, shutting you up, bringing in totalitarian systems, forcing all kinds of weird pervert cults onto children in the schools. It's all run by this Jewish mafia group, B'nai B'rith, the Anti-Defamation League. Just read their website. Oh, and that's the other thing. If you read their website, they will show you that everyone who is a white person who's nationalistic is some kind of prison gang member. Like they'll have like a skinhead guy with tattoos, and they'll try and equate like something I'm saying to that. See, everything has to be like that. It's a brainwashing cult. Hardcore brainwashing cult is what the ADL B'nai B'rith is. Hardcore brainwashing cult. The scary thing is they've been running the FBI for a long time, and all the police departments in Irvine, Los Angeles, Orange County Sheriff's Department, San Diego, Riverside, everywhere, all over America. That's what they do. They get control of the police, and they use the cops to enforce their mafia crime agenda, which for some reason has to do with teaching kids to be molested by gay homosexuals. That's part of it. On their own website, adl.org. Just go there and see for yourself. I'm not making that up. They're making it up. Putting it on their website. And the FBI and the police think it's fine. That's America. Now, hopefully that's not America anymore, because it looks like Trump is making some changes. But let's listen to this report from France for a minute.
Elections, and earlier Trump said Ukraine shouldn't have started the war. The remarks appear to show an ignorance over the situation in Ukraine, where elections were postponed because of the war.
Now, notice how this guy speaking is making excuses for Zelensky, making excuses for why there's no elections, making excuses, saying the president of the United States is bad, Zelensky's good. That's all you need to know. But here's the weird thing about it, okay? He's a white guy. He's a white guy. He's European. Okay. Does he like living in Sodom and Gomorrah? Does he like living with having massive amounts of people from Africa and Islamic countries come and take all over his country, his ancestral lands? Does he like that? Does he like living like that? Does anybody like living like that in Europe? You can't even say what I just said in Europe. You go to jail for saying what I just said in Europe, right? And here he is defending Zelensky. The guy who's part of the cult doing all this shit to him. This is like what do you call it when the person who's being held hostage, they like sympathize with the person holding them hostage. What is that called? Some kind of a mental disorder. Let's continue.
A war, we remind you, started when Vladimir Putin, Russia's authoritarian president, who is of course wanted by the international.
See how they say everything. This is all scripted by the Jewish mafia. This is why these people are they're such weaklings, and they're so pathetic. This is why Europe is dying. This is why Europe, not because of Russia. Russia's defending itself against these idiots. That's what Russia's doing. That's what we need to be doing. That's what we need to be doing in America, in Canada, Australia, the United Kingdom, France, Ireland, Germany, Sweden, everywhere. Greece, Italy, Spain, all over the place. Not Morocco. Morocco was once part of Europe, actually. So was Libya. So was Egypt. So was Syria. So was everywhere. So was Palestine. That was also part of Europe at one time. And all of Turkey. That was all part of Europe at one time. Sorry for me entering my my ancient map into the discussion. Let's continue.
Criminal Court launched an all-out invasion of Ukraine 3 years ago, next Monday. Well, let's hear some of Vladimir Zelensky's replies to Donald Trump's.
It's just so pathetic seeing a white guy shill for Zelensky after Zelensky's part of the exact same group that brings in all the African migrants and all the Muslims and everybody to just kill you and replace you and stab you in the street. Nothing happens to them and ram cars into your Christmas markets. And here's an idiot going, Zelensky, he's good. You see? And these people don't fight for themselves. They need to fight. They need to fight back against this satanic, evil group of people that have been just killing and bragging about it. They just kill and kill and kill and they brag about it. And then they bring gays in to go to the adoption centers and pick up kids for dates. Like literally, this is what they've turned Europe and America into, and people just shill for them. It's so sad. But let's listen more to this idiot.
So outrageous and some would say egregious claims.
We have seen this disinformation. We understand that it comes from Russia. We understand that.
So here's Zelensky saying as usual. This is why Trump needs to, and maybe Doge or something, go through and get all the bank accounts of Zelensky in America and Europe and seize the accounts. Seize the accounts. Seize the accounts. Take the fucking money. Take all their fucking money, man. Take it all. Take every fucking penny. And take every penny and take every penny from everybody associated with it, including people in the U.S. government that are on their fucking payroll. Take it all, Trump. Take it. I want you to send the U.S. Marshals in there, and I want you to take all their fucking money. And I want you to take Zelensky and everyone associated with him and Noodleman and all of them. They all need to be arrested. They all need to be arrested. Okay, let's go back.
And we have evidence that these numbers are being discussed between America and Russia.
Okay, good. I can't take it anymore. Trump needs to do what I just said. Okay? He needs to do what I just said. He needs to take all the fucking money from these fucking assholes. He needs to just make a list of everyone connected to Zelensky and just find out where all their bank accounts are and fucking take the money, okay? Which is what he needs to do. And then he needs to find them, and he needs to send the Marines or the U.S. Marshals or whoever or covert operations and fucking take these people and do with them what needs to be done. He needs to do it. The Trump admin needs to take these people out. No more fucking games with these people, dude. I'm calling for a call to action. All Americans need to rise up against these fucking Ukrainian pieces of fucking shit mafia, and we're gonna take your fucking money and we're gonna fucking put you in a fucking Gitmo camp. How do you like that? A Gitmo camp. If you're lucky, you'll end up at fucking Camp X-Ray, you piece of shit, fucking scum, enemy of America. Let's continue.
So unfortunately, President Trump, who we have...
Okay, I can't listen to this idiot anymore. We don't need to listen to this guy. Here's another fucking retard. Sorry, I got a lot of F's going in this video. We're watching a military briefing, okay? I'm not a general. I'm what comes up what's after corporal? I mean, we had a good corporal one time in Germany, but what's this guy? Who's this idiot?
What's important is to make sure that we get our facts straight, because a lot of the things that
look at this poor little pathetic piece of shit.
Untrue.
I feel sorry for this moron.
Zelensky a dictator is not something that any.
You go to England. England is the sorriest, saddest piece of shithole you've ever seen in your life. It's so sad. It's just a filthy toilet that they bring over foreigners to just come over. They literally, the Zelensky Cabal that's international. It's not just in Ukraine. It runs Europe also. It runs London. They literally bring in people from Africa and Islamic countries to come over and take and shit on the fucking street and then kill the British people. That's what they do. That's what this group does. They bring in people from Islamic and African countries, and they bring them into London, and they release them into the streets and encourage them to go around and just fucking kill the people that live there, the people that live in England and in Ireland. They do that all across Europe. And if you protest it, they call you a racist and they throw you in prison, and then they kill you in prison. That's the Zelensky group. The Zelensky group, Zelensky is part of a group. See, it's not just Zelensky. He's part of a group. And that group runs the European Union. And that group runs England. And that group runs Germany. And they've run it since the end of the World War II with America. And they're doing that same shit in America. And they're doing that same shit in Canada. They're doing that same shit in Australia. And remember after they took out Germany, what was the next target? Well, they spread LSD in America. That's one thing. But then they also took out South Africa and Rhodesia, right? Anywhere there were white people, they had to go down there and kill them. So they backed the black communists to just kill white people. That's what they're doing. That's what we're talking about. Those are the people we're talking about. That's who's behind the Zelensky shit. That's what this is. So here's this poor pathetic guy from England. This is, he's lucky to have this job because hardly anyone over there has a job because they're all basically thrown out on the street so that all the money can be spent on Muslims and Africans who come from foreign countries to come to England to kill them, literally kill them in the street, or rape them, or steal, or rape the little girls and boys and everything. They just rape and kill and murder, and that's what they think of. See, this is the thing. That's what they think of the people in Germany. That's what they think of their own populations. They hate the populations they rule over. They always have since the 1800s. The people that rule over Europe since the 1800s hate the European people because they weren't Europeans. Napoleon gave them access to the markets, and they already had a lot of money because they had a sugar business that was a global monopoly. They got control of the governments, and they hated the populations. They never liked them, and they've just worked since the 1800s to undermine them and kill them and find ways to kill them and make them poor and kill them. That's it. That's all. That's the history of Europe and America since the 1800s. That's what all this was leading up to. Now we had some high points in America under Ronald Reagan was pretty good. And then, but they had to phase it back out. Like it kind of was good for a little bit, then they had to phase it out. But here's where I'm going with all this one more time. Is they had to phase out the white race, and now they don't have anyone to fight for them. So the danger is, what we all have to realize is we're not going to revive Western civilization to give back to these people. That we're not going to become their cannon fodder again. That's not why we're doing this. That's not why anyone backed Trump, is to become cannon fodder for the same stupid cult. No, we need to get rid of Zelensky. We need to seize his bank accounts. Everybody connected with him in Washington, D.C. or around the United States or anywhere in the world, in Europe and Australia, they all need to be arrested they need to be, the Marines, the U.S. Marine Corps should be ordered to take these people out or arrest them and put them in Gitmo or put them in some other prison camp, and they'll never get out. Never. You don't get out of prison after you try to overthrow the U.S. government. Okay. It wasn't the J6 people that tried to overthrow the government. They tried to stop an illegal election that wasn't a legitimate election. They didn't try to overthrow the government. They were trying to bring the legitimate election. See, they wanted a legitimate election. They wanted Vice President Pence at the time to send it back to the electorates to have them look at it and vote on it, because it was all to the electorates on who was going to be voted in. But they went with Biden, even though he didn't get 80 million stupid votes or whatever they said. That was all bullshit. So the people that actually J6, even though they had some people in that there were infiltrators. Ultimately, the bulk of the people were there to bring about democracy, because democracy was being subverted by the people in Washington, D.C. They were the ones subverting it because they're run by this cult that's connected to Ukraine and Zelensky. And that's why the media in Washington, D.C. sides with Zelensky, because they are not for America. They're for their cult that took over America. So anyway, I don't want to listen to this idiot.
Anybody in Ukraine does, even his.
Let's listen to Trump.
In any case. Donald Trump also said this is getting petty and insignificant, but let's note it as well.
Let's see what Trump says.
Zelensky might not think he's.
They're not going to even let him talk.
US
Yeah. So basically, here's typical European Rothschild bullshit fucking media. They show the president talking, but you can't hear what he's saying. Instead, you got to listen to this idiot from London who is lucky to even have a job, while the rest of his fellow Londoners, who are actually British and not from some foreign country brought in to kill them, they're all starving to death and they have no fucking jobs. Okay, that's what's happening in Europe for real. That's what's happening. The white European populations are all being exterminated and ethnically cleansed by this fucking group that's connected to Zelensky. And they've run America and Europe since the 1800s. And Zelensky needs to be arrested, and everyone connected to him needs to go to fucking prison. And they need to send the U.S. Marshals, and they need to send whoever to arrest them and seize all their money. Take whatever is left of the IRS. Trump fired some IRS people today, which is great. Whoever is left at the IRS, they only need to be sent to investigate Zelensky, sent to investigate all the people in the U.S. and D.C. tied to Zelensky. Take all their homes, take all their cars, take all their money, take all their property, take it all. Take it all. Okay, let's see. I want to hear what Trump has to say. See, they're not going to just let you. I'm looking through here like, what did Trump say? They're not just going to let you hear what Trump said today. No, they're not just going to let you hear what Trump said. Let's see if we can find it. Trump says Zelensky dictator. Let's see if we can even find on YouTube. Let's see if we can find a report of Trump talking. I don't know if we can. Here's France. No, that one didn't let him speak. Let's see if we can find it. No, here's another. See, what they do in all their reports is you don't actually hear what the president said. Fox Live now. No, they're not going to. I can't even find. I'm going through all the top views. I'm going through all the top stuff on YouTube right now. Not one of these doesn't appear that not a single one, because I can go through and see ahead. I can look ahead by skipping ahead, and they're not actually giving you what the president said. So they're literally running. They are literally running like as a what do you call it? Screen. They're screening out the president of the United States on YouTube right now. YouTube, based in San Francisco, is hosting all the European and British channels that are connected to this fucking cult that I told you about, and using YouTube so that all the top listings screen out what the president of the United States says. That's YouTube. All the top chart. The only reason I heard Trump at all was because I heard it on the radio. I don't know. Maybe you've heard it today. Maybe it was on Fox. I'm going to try this one. Here's Fox News. Let's see if I can get it on Fox News.
If you were in an accident and you...
I got to sit through this stupid commercial. He calls Zelensky a dictator. I want to hear this. Let's hear it.
Post from the president earlier today on Truth Social, speaking about Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. It reads,
which is certainly licking its chops at this sort of dispute between the U.S. and Ukraine. I think if I'm Putin...
Nope. Even Fox isn't showing the president. Here, I can't hear the president. Can I hear the fucking president, you asshole?
To subjugate Ukraine.
I got to listen to this shit on Fox.
Just reading from that statement.
Nope. They even just showed. Fox News. I heard Zelensky talk. This is Fox Live though. This is maybe this isn't the regular Fox News. Austin. I don't know. This is like here's another one. It's literally Fox Live, whatever that is. It's not Fox News, but Fox Live, and they've got this idiot on there. You get to hear Zelensky talk, but then they just show you Trump talking, but then they talk over him and tell you what they want you to hear. Fucking assholes, dude. Trump needs to take these people out, dude. This is part of the problem. So you've got all these people working for a fucking cult that's based in Ukraine and Europe, and these people are in America working on behalf of a foreign international group. Okay, I don't know if I can find Trump's. Oh, here we go. Here's another one. Let's see if I can hear it.
Very unfair.
Here we go.
And the
Palm Beach Post.
Around the world, I'm moving.
Let's see if I can find
You
it.
would have been in World War III, and now it's not going to happen. In the Middle East, I've restored my policy of maximum pressure on Iran designed.
Okay, we know about that.
over the place. They're making it very hard for people to get their product delivered. I have to tell you, to end the horrible war in Ukraine, I've spoken with President Putin and President Zelensky, and our teams began negotiations this week in Saudi Arabia. I want to thank Saudi Arabia for that. That was so great.
This is good.
Yeah. And I want to thank, in particular, I mean, we have so many of the people, Yasser, Mohammed, all the people, but in particular, we have to thank Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman for hosting. Was there, and you have to see the people that a version of Gettysburg in case of Ukraine, Russia, but it's people, it's young people from Russia and Ukraine mostly that are just being decimated. It's flat fields, and a bullet goes, and a bullet only stops when it hits somebody. And the level of people being
this is what we wanted the whole time.
Soldiers, young
the whole time we wanted a president
cases,
exactly like
soldiers,
Trump. This is what we want.
Running out of people.
Someone who actually
They're
cares
running out of
about people.
soldiers, one case. But think of it, a modestly successful comedian, President Zelensky.
Yeah, here we go. It looks like this. It looks like I found it. A moderately successful comedian, Zelensky.
He talked the United States of America into spending $350 billion to go into a war that basically couldn't be won, that never had to start and never would have started if I was president, not even a chance. And it didn't start for 4 years, never would have started. But a war that he, without the US and Trump, will never be able to settle. They'll never settle that war without our involvement. That's why they did such a great job this weekend. That's why Saudi Arabia did such a great job this weekend in hosting. The United States has spent $200 billion more than Europe.
All that money needs to be gotten back. All that money needs to be gotten back. They need to take whatever Zelensky has in his accounts and seize the accounts. They need to seize Zelensky's accounts. Eggs are too expensive. Make America chickens again. You know, the best chicken eggs are the ones that grow. I had this lady I know, and she's over in down the road. Anyway, she's got the best chickens in her backyard, and the eggs are delicious, and they don't taste like the eggs you get in the store. They're so much better, man. The yolks are like really delicious. You can't get eggs like that in the store. But yeah, we need to make eggs great again.
And Europe's money is guaranteed. They get their money back. It's a form of a loan. Nobody knows that. I know that. I said, why isn't somebody saying, you know, we do it the same way? And we spent much more money. We have to equalize. But while the United States gets nothing back, so they get their money back. It's a loan. We just give our money. And we had a deal based on rare earth and things, but
we need to take everything that the European Union has and seize all that. Whatever the European Union has never been what we as Americans think of, what we thought it was. Whatever the European Union, as far as I'm concerned, Trump should seize all the money back from Zelensky, take all of his houses, all of his property, have the IRS seize all of that, and then do the same to the European Union. All the people at Davos, all those people in the European Union, seize their accounts, take everything, take all their property, and then give Europe back to the European people. That's what we need to do. Let's listen to Trump some more.
They broke that deal, but they broke it 2 days ago. We had a deal because they said we're spending $350 billion and Europe gets their money back in the form of a loan, and we don't. We're just giving the money hand over fist. That's the Biden administration for you. But they're no longer dealing with the same United States as they were dealing with a few months ago. Why didn't crooked Joe Biden?
Right. No matter, this is really honestly for America. This is the best in the world. Donald Trump is the best thing that's ever happened to this country. He really this is what I've wanted for decades. Is this? I finally have a president doing the right thing. This is amazing.
Demand equalization, and that this war is far more important to Europe than it is to us, and that there's a very big, beautiful ocean, a separate.
It's important to the people in control of the European Union, but not important to the actual people of Europe. Like the people of Europe get nothing out of this, except for killed, used as cannon fodder. Literally, they get nothing. the only people that benefit from this are the people that are sitting on top of Europe, running it, using the what's the remains of Europe as cannon fodder. They don't give a shit about the European people, and they will happily send them to Ukraine to all die. They don't give a shit. They don't care. Like, there's nothing to fight for except for your own people. That's the only thing. And so don't fight for these stupid European bureaucrat shit, whatever they are, dictators.
Europe, we're trying to help Europe. On top of this, Zelensky admits that half of the money that we sent them is missing. They don't know where the money is. He said, well, we don't know where half of it is. That's great.
Yeah, well, we'll find it, Zelensky. And in fact, maybe we should arrest Zelensky and force him to tell us where it went. I'm sure they have ways of forcing you to talk. I'm sure that the CIA and I think that they have ways to force you to answer the question. So maybe we should try that on Zelensky and find out where the money is and then get it all back.
He refuses to have elections. It's low in the real Ukrainian polls. I mean, how can you be high with every city is being demolished?
Yeah, no kidding.
It's hard to be high. Somebody said, oh, no, his polls are good. Give me a break. Every city is being demolished.
Yeah.
They look like a demolition site, every single one of them. And the only thing he was really good at was playing Joe Biden like a fiddle. He played him like a fiddle. That's an expression we use, Yasser, to say that he's pretty easy, A dictator without elections. So
yeah!
he's not going to have a country left. Got to move.
Whoa, yeah, let's hear that again.
He's not going to have a country left. Got to move. He was really good at was playing Joe Biden like a fiddle. He played him like a fiddle. That's an expression we use, Yasser, to say that he's pretty easy. A dictator without elections. Zelensky better move fast, or he's not going to have a country left. Got to move fast.
Yeah, or you're not going to have a country left. And Zelensky thinks he can do this on his own. Well, then good. Let's find out if Zelensky was part of this group that tried to kill President Trump, which I'm already saying is the case. I know it's the case. So let's round all those people up and do what do we have a military for? What's the Pentagon for? That's what it's for, right? You can't just try and kill our president. So let's go. What are we waiting for? Let's go. U.S. Marshals, order the CIA to do it or fire them if they don't. Find out if there's anyone in the CIA or the FBI that's working with this other group. Have them all arrested. Send them to Gitmo. Clean out the Pentagon of any traitors. And then get everybody in there ready to go to war, not with Russia, but with the people that tried to kill the president, with the people that have been trying to kill us for decades and have been systematically destroying our civilizations for decades. Those are the people that need to be targeted. The enemies of America and the European people and the British people and Ireland and all the rest of it. Let's listen to Trump.
That war is going in the wrong direction. In the meantime, we're successfully negotiating an end to the war with Russia. Something I'll admit that only Trump is going to be able to do in the Trump administration. We're going to be able to do it. I think Putin even admitted that. Biden never tried. Europe has failed to bring peace, and Zelensky probably wants to keep the gravy train going. I don't know what's the problem, but he hasn't been able.
Trump's being really nice in about. I mean, he's just barely, very lightly criticized Zelensky. As you can tell, I'm a little bit more fanatic in my hatred of Zelensky. Just a wee bit more fanatic.
That he wasn't invited. He could have come if he wanted to, but that he wasn't invited to Saudi Arabia. But he's been working for 3 years. There's never been even meetings or phone calls to stop this war. It's a horrible thing. I figure Russia's lost 900,000 soldiers. I think that Ukraine's lost probably 700,000. And it's
those numbers are fake.
You'll see bodies and body parts.
I think Russia's lost a fraction of what Ukraine has lost, but that's okay. Trump is the president. He's got to repeat stuff that he gets from CIA.
All over the field, all over. We see him very accurately through satellites. Yeah, I love Ukraine.
We've got satellites up there watching it. Just in case you ever wonder, if you think that you ever can just drive down the road and do stuff, if they really want, they have satellites that watch every square inch of the world is monitored by satellites. Every little inch. When you walk outside and you go to the park, I walk my dog around. Literally, people in Washington, D.C. or the Pentagon could literally just say, we're going to watch you go to the park today. And they could do it. They can do it every single day of the year. That's what they do, in case you didn't know.
Country is shattered, and millions of people have unnecessarily died. And you can't bring a war to an end if you don't talk to both sides. You got to talk. They haven't been talking for 3 years. So we hope to see a ceasefire soon and to reestablish
What a
stability
relief.
in Europe and the Middle East.
This is what we voted for, right? Is this what we voted for? The end of the war with Ukraine. We don't need a war with Ukraine. I don't need a nuclear war. Out of all the things I need, that's not one of them. I don't need that. That's stupid. Don't give me a nuclear war. Thank you, President Trump. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And as I've said before, it's my hope that my greatest legacy will be as a peacemaker and a unifier.
This is a historic figure right here. One of the greatest presidents of all time. So that's it. That's the end of the video. So yeah, that's President Trump. Nice to talk to you. Thanks for watching. I think I'm just going to wrap it up. I don't have much else to say, but yeah, looks like the war is going to end, which is so good. I just wish all those people didn't die. That's what I wish. I wish all those people didn't get sucked into a war by Zelensky and Kagan and the rest of that cabal that brag every day about all the people that they kill. They need to be put in jail, have all their stuff taken, have all their assets seized, and everyone connected to them. Everybody connected to them in DC and around Europe needs to go the same route. So yeah, take care. Thanks for watching. See you next time.